What's going on, guys? The Film Fan Reviews. My name is Stephen Barton II, and today we're talking about a longly anticipated film for me, It Chapter 2. Now, I am a huge fan of the book and the miniseries, to be honest. When I was probably 5, maybe 6 years old, I saw, just flipping through channels, a clip of Tim Curry as Pennywise, and honestly, it scared the crap out of me, and I didn't even want to watch it for the longest time, and then eventually I mustered up the courage to actually sit down and watch it. Fell in love with it. Around the same time, it was later in life that I found the book too, and I read that, and just fell in love. Other than The Shining, it's probably my favorite book and movie combination. But yeah, so when that movie came out in 2017, I was very excited, got into that theater, saw that movie and thought it was incredible. Andy Muschietti was able to grab more things from the book and be more violent when it came to all this crazy stuff that Pennywise the Clown actually does. And just being able to see that carnage on screen that this creature, to say the least, does to these children and everything like that and terrorizes this town. Seeing all that happen on the big screen was a dream of mine that came true. And now in It Chapter 2, in the miniseries, it's pretty much public knowledge that Part 2 is not that great. Part 1 is fun, gets you in there. It's not perfect, but especially for TV in, I think it was 1990 when it came out, you couldn't do half the stuff you do on TV now. So for that series to be as frightening as it was back then, and for some people, including myself as a child, was pretty immaculate. Part 1 was definitely the part that did it, and Part 2, I don't know, it just didn't. There were certain parts that, especially at the end, we all know about this big spider that looks really, really bad. It all just didn't flow that well. But Tim Curry is by far the best part of that movie. So Bill Skarsgård had big shoes to fill, no pun intended with the clown thing. But this film, It Chapter 2, turns up the scares a little bit from the first one. I mean, this first one had some scares in it, but like a lot of people say, it's almost more of a coming-of-age movie that I personally agree with, because it is a lot about them growing up. Yes, there is the story of this murderous clown in this town, but we focus a lot more on the kids themselves, which I'm not complaining about. I love it so much because those kids were fantastic. But this one, it turns it up even more. I think Andy got the okay from the studio that, yeah, this is one of the most successful R-rated movies that you made a couple years ago, so just go at it, bro. And I feel like he got that and just went for it, because there are so many moments in this movie that I'm like, damn, he went there. And I wasn't mad whatsoever. I thought it was pretty awesome, and I was very excited to see all that go down. Now, the main thing about this movie, they lined up a fantastic cast. I mean, you have James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, the dude from Sinister, Deputy So-and-so, I can never remember his name, but he's awesome in that movie too. The dude from the Old Spice commercials, Bill Hader, which by far was my favorite casting choice, and it really paid off. The dude that was fairly unknown that played Ben, awesome. Even the dude we didn't really get to see a whole lot of him playing Stanley, pretty good too. I wish I could have seen a little bit more from him, but sadly, we know where that story goes. Right off the bat, like I touched on about the part 2 of the miniseries, this movie knocks it out of the water. They do everything right for the most part. It's a 2-hour and 40-minute runtime, which may turn some people away, but it didn't feel like that to me. I got to go to an early screening yesterday in IMAX. I didn't even think about going to the bathroom because I wanted to see what happened. I'm probably going to go see this again this weekend too, so. This meant so much to me that it had to be that pretty low bar. They just had to go above it, but they blew it out of the water. Just from the flashback stuff with the de-aging technology for the kids, because Finn Wolfhard specifically looks way different than he did a few years ago. And some of it at the beginning, the first flashback, I'm like, oh, I noticed it. But once the scenes kept going and they were doing more, I honestly, it just went out of my mind. If I would have not known the de-aging was in the movie, who knows, I might not have seen it, but I think they tackled it fairly well. Just being able to see the kids again, riff back and forth, definitely helped, because with this cast, I like all the actors that were casted, but I was like, these are weird intros. Some of them don't feel right. Then once they get all together and they start going at each other, it felt like those same kids from the first movie were just grown up 27 years later, and it worked so well. The cast was so great. But yeah, like I said, stuff in the book was present. I'm a big fan of the book itself, so seeing some things that I wasn't sure if they were going to make it in, that did make it in, awesome. Some things weren't in that could have been interesting, but might have been a little too much for the audience, and we'll touch on that in another video. I'm going to make a whole spoiler video, but yeah. Overall, the editing was really cool. Me and my buddies that went to see it yesterday were actually talking about that, and there were some difficult stuff that they pulled off very, very well. And the shots in the movie were beautiful. And yeah, It Chapter 2 is the perfect cap for this story. Like I said, could they have put more in the movie? Probably, but 2 hours and 40 minutes for a general horror movie, I think that's good enough, because I feel like some people that aren't mega nerds for this like me, I feel like will just be turned off by that completely. But overall, 5-star rating scale, similar to the first one, it's a 5 out of 5 for me personally. I've seen some people on the internet saying it's not as good, blah blah blah. My personal opinion is, I love the book. These movies are pretty spot on to that book. Yeah, they do leave a few details out, but overall I think they did a phenomenal job. Big props to Andy Muschietti, and yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, keep an eye out for my spoiler-filled review, but please go see this movie before you watch that, because I think you would probably love it. So anyway, that's it for today, guys. Please like the video, comment your thoughts about anything I said in this video. I'd love to chat with you. I might even ask a question down there about, like, maybe your favorite horror movie of 2019 or something like that down below. Please respond to that. I'd love to chat with you guys. Please share the video on any social media you have. It'd help out greatly, and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. There'll be a little button over on this side. Please subscribe. It'd help me out greatly. My social medias will be in the description below, including my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, thefilmfanreviews.blogspot.com, which I do write some reviews on there. I wrote one a few weeks ago. You can check that out, and I might be a little more active on there soon, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Boo boo.